There we go. Peace, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. I'm going to make a cup of coffee as I have a chat. We'll just call this like a cosmic conversation, right? Because it's all cosmic. It is all cosmic. I was reminded of the message I got about the magnetosphere a while ago. When I have time, I'm going to go through my videos and find that. And I know it's come out quite a few times in my messages. Excuse me. About the magnetosphere. Excuse me. And the flip. There's actually one specific reading that got. And I know so many people are like, that's just so out there. There's no way that could happen. But many of you who film and pay attention, you know that it is happening now. It is happening. Our poles are shifting. They take a magnetic flip. Do we physically flip? I don't know. But we definitely, those poles, meaning the magnet, flips back to the way it's supposed to be. Remember, all this is going back to the way it's originally to be. Whatever, however story it is that you follow, whether you want to call it Lucifer came to earth, which really is true, or whatever, the lizards, which is true, took over, however that is, and however they can flip the magnet in this place, happened when I feel, I'm just my theory on it, when the wires started going up, when the Industrial Revolution started happening, because that is a false template on a natural, organic terrain, if you will, being, because she's a soul. We live on something that has a soul, and she's had enough. She's absolutely had enough. And now she's taken over, with God created, with the universe, and it's taken all these Arcturian, Pleiadian, Lyra, Andromeda, all these, think of it as a big, piano, if you will, and it's just all playing these notes now to drop this magnetosphere. And that goes back to the messages I've been getting on that for a while. And then the waters, which we're just, if by the grace of God, if we, hopefully we don't have the level of storms that I think that we're going to have this summer with the oceans, because there's something huge in that ocean. And when you have water displacement, that makes a significant shift as well, because she's shifting. Her volcanoes are erupting. She is shifting. Mother Earth, Gaia, Pachamama, Tiamat, whatever you want to call it for you. She's a dragon. And it has been biologically proven. We are in the land of dragons and serpents and giants. And I keep remember, for those of you who have, really, some of you really pay attention to the readings. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Because I pay attention to my oracle messages. Some people open a Bible. I do too. I open scripture, not just the Bible. I open a ton of different things, but I also not use my oracles as that, and you know what, it's not the craft. I don't use it that way. I use it to communicate with the Most High God, and if you don't understand that, that's okay. You don't have to. This is for me to understand and relay it to the others who understand too, who are yeah, absolutely get it. And any of you who have been with me long enough, you know that. You understand that because you can feel it. You can feel it. There's many gifted people on here, and there's many dark gifted people on there, but I am not one of the dark gifted people. So, you're going to hear a sound. There's going to be some kind of sound, and I feel it's God, and I do. I feel it's God. Michael's footstep. Michael's footstep has already been heard around the world. Through a different frequency. It uses the frequencies of this world. So these frequencies have to be broke down because they built a false template, which we call a matrix, on an organic, natural, self-sustaining dormant star. I feel like we're supposed to have, I don't know, EMF wraps for our head, maybe something more, because the readings that had come up in the messages with that specific picture of the magnet, it was the magnetosphere, and then it's a shield on the head it's a different deck, but it came out magnetosphere, and then the person with the shield, like just like magnetosphere, uses so that nothing can read his mind, nothing can affect his mind, nothing can interfere. Doesn't matter what his good or bad. That wasn't the point that I saw anyway. It was to protect his brain. So I know there's EMF wraps out there. I'm probably just going to amp some sales up right now for somebody else that I do not make a dime off of. But I keep getting that wrap your crown. Like I'm always wearing now like a hoodie over my head to protect it. That's why like the Jedi, they wear their cloaks to protect them, to protect their energy. Some use it for dark, but there's many light seers beings that do that too. They just use different kinds, but they all automatically know to protect almost the kundalini, if you will, right up into your, into the penile, that protect that. Because whatever I feel is going on as well with the magnetosphere is we have to be mindful of our thoughts. Christ tells us that. Be mindful of your thoughts. Never mind your words, your thoughts. Because I've come across articles and I've shared them, and it's, it's true. It really is true. And I know for some people that sounds way the freak out there because you're still in the program of disbelief, and that's okay. Everybody's at their own place. However, there's many of us that are in a different space with that. And all these, like, you ever notice, like, you think of something and then it pops up on your phone? And you're like, wow, that's weird. I was just thinking of that, and it's in my Google or whatever. It's because your phone is reading your mind. They have technology to do that. So that's I feel what Christ is talking about as well, with be mindful of your thoughts. For your thoughts may not be your own, okay? Especially with this drop of the magnetosphere. I don't know, he might be from around the world. I don't ever listen to specific dates. I will say them from other people, but I don't do specific dates because that's divine creator. You wanna hear God laugh, make a plan. And it's true. And it's everything in divine timing. And know that Archangel Michael is part of this too. There's a lot of things that aren't being mentioned from those who are preaching the word of God. Sorry for saying it like that. I'm just a messenger. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing God brought into some of this stuff. I'm not hearing the archangels. I'm not hearing that. And I feel that's important, especially if you're speaking from the word of God. And and you're just, it's weird to me. But that's me. Know that Archangel Michael is part of this. Anubis is part of this. And that's a fact. I mean, they're in the magnetic energy. So there's a passing, a changing of guard. And I was picking up on that too. That would be a changing of the guard. The magnetosphere dropping, because the magnetosphere is an energy signature of what we live in and vibrate through, okay? And the changing of the guard would be the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Well, who's here holding the staff now? Ra is. Ra is holding the staff, and Osiris. That's all been seen in the magnetic energy, and it has. And you can find channels that will show you that. And that's what the writings and on the walls are telling us. For those who read that stuff, and you know what I'm talking about if you know how to read those. That's what's going on here. And yes, they show us in everything. Google just did a picture that looked, it wasn't the wings, but it was the wings. The image was shaped in a wing, Isis's wings, because it's really Isis's wings, and it really is Isis's wings. They're coming up with, they call Planet X and Nibiru, which are two separate, I feel, energies. They're showing us that in everything that's here, that's coming, that's the energy signature we're in, or we're heading into. So they would have to drop the magnetosphere to change the guard. And that's when everything's going to be allowed to walk the earth. It already is walking the earth, just many don't know that. But it will be more present. It's going to, it may create so much chaos. I feel like it's going to create a lot of chaos because it's a dropping of changing hands. It's a changing hands. And it's like, if you think about what we're on is divine feminine energy. Mother Earth is divine feminine. And she has been held captive for a very long time by other things, building a template off of her, drilling her oil, drilling her gas, drilling, taking. She's a titan. She is a titan. That's not hard to put together either. She's a titan. What would a titan have? It would have godlike powers. It would have fluids, just like your car. And these other worlds that are here, these other realms that are aligning to come through, because it's written about Nibiru and the gold, and they would need that from her because we're on gold. Whatever how we live here, it's on gold, and that's proven too. The gold rush, San Francisco gold rush, all of that. The gemstones that are here, when you're looking at dendritic quartz, okay, go to your anatomy and physiology and look up the dendrite. It's the same thing, except for it's in a quartz now, not in a human body or an animal or a body, physical meat suit. It's the same thing. That's why these crystals have been broken apart, because of whatever happened here before that we don't remember. The mud flood. There was a few of them. And definitely they're preparing for some kind of mud flood going on. And that's proven too if you're not watching mainstream news anyway, because they're not going to tell you. And when they start telling you, that means hang on, because we've already been going through it, because people like me and you have been sharing it all along. They're hiding things that are normally in the ocean. That's not some kind of error. That's a huge anomaly in the ocean, which causes water displacement. And water displacement creates a shift. And the energy shift throughout, it's like dropping a pebble in the pond. And it just keeps going through. But it's going through us. It's going through Mother Earth. I feel like, I've always felt like, when I started learning more about Tiamat, that this is and then it's a piece of her, right? It's absolutely a piece of her. And maybe somehow it's coming back together that we don't understand, but many of us are picking up on that. Like it's blowing, it's like it's slow motion, an explosion in slow motion. And there's all these pieces and parts and microorganisms and cellulars. The honeycomb is about a cellular structure. It's about DNA, and many people are paying attention to this honeycomb that they're seeing, this pattern. It's also like a pattern through the matrix as well. And the 101010 is some kind of energy that connects to our RNA, DNA, to keep us in a lull. And that's shifting the changing of the guard. So we have Ra changing the guard from, I don't know, whoever the heck was holding the staff here, Set, Lucifer. And if you don't understand that, the staff is CERN. That's the staff. You have fallen beings here. Fact. The river Euphrates, and then whatever's going to go on more rivers are going to dry up, because now things are allowed to be here that were not able to be here. It's almost like we've been in this spherical ball of energy, if you will. I think that's why they use this sphere. Like, here you are, here's a round circle, this is where you are. And there's other round circles here. And you guys just zoom through space. which still, you know, I've never been able to really grasp that concept. Um, but it's biological, no matter how you slice it. We're on something that's in something and part of and made of something biological that's having a huge energy shift. And I do feel like we're going to, I feel, hear God, because that's been coming through too. So with the magnetosphere coming out along with the helmet, wearing it was like more like an armor, like an iron helmet, like they would wear in battle. Um, and then it was like the sound. I'm being shown those three cards, and then the sound, which would be of God, the universe, the maybe it's not the maybe it's a different sound. When the two maybe drop the magnetosphere, and for some, and this is all about Ra, because Ra is here. So I guess we're gonna see as this unfolds, and we're gonna experience a lot of turbulence with this, like a wobble, oceans. These are I feel like these are God winks of, okay, get, you know, whatever you're gonna do it, you know, as far as like if you're gonna relocate, or I mean, clearly trust your instincts, follow your own path. But these are like, for many of us, these are these signs of like the oceans is no joke. With a serious anomaly that's the size of a continent in down by Antarctica, and it's been moving back and forth up the east, you know, up through the Atlantis. That causes water displacement. When water displacement happens, a wobble will happen. And I'm just a regular Joe here, and that, you know, it doesn't take you to be a scientist to figure that out. It creates a wobble. It's going to be some kind of imbalance. It is an imbalance. So it's a changing of the guard. I personally don't think anyone's running our country at all. I really don't. I think that's why Putin's sitting in the Caribbean right now with 3 battleships. And I'm not into politics. This isn't about politics. This is about a being setting up. They are positioned all around the world. And I really think they're dealing with bigger fish to fry than us. But I also feel it has to do with us too, because we got a soul here. This has all been a strategic battle of your soul in this place. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why there's wars here. It's really over souls. Controlling them. Controlling souls. You see? Now, who did that a long time ago? Enlil did that a long time ago. For those of you who are up to speed with that stuff. That's Enlil. Enlil was in control. Enlil wants to be treated. Enlil believes Enlil is God. And Enlil is very real. Not this mythological thing. Enlil is very real. If you believe in God, then all these other things exist too. And they do. And it's a big chess game happening. And we're the pawns. We're the pawns. So I don't know. Back to the crown. Protecting your crown through all this. And I do keep hearing the Messiah. Be mindful of your thoughts. For your thoughts are not your own. If you're feeling down and out and you feel like you're just like, you're like, why am I, I feel like something's like beating me up energetically. Be mindful of your thoughts. These are other things going on. Like, in people out there, I'm going to skip to this for a second. Those of you who talk shit, you know, you're creating a couple of things. First of all, that's spells. And some of you are absolutely aware of that. Talking shit, gossiping, that all comes back to you ultimately. But you're sending out, it's like, these people, like, who are you to send out that kind of frequency towards somebody else? It isn't, you know, this is people who talk behind other people's back when someone's not there. And that sets out a energy. And it can affect a soul, a person, depending on where the person's at as well. And that's just dark magic. So that's why Christ keeps coming through saying, be mindful of your thoughts, for your words are not your own. So if you're feeling like in a heavy space, you know, reach out to somebody, or do your meditations, really, you know, rise up, rise up, rise up. Like, you know, rise up, gather round. I keep hearing that. Rise up, gather around, rock this place. And we have that power. We have that ability to do that, especially when many of us come together. And that's been proven. This whole place has been designed to keep everybody apart. It's been designed to separate everybody, whether by your male, female, right? Race, gender, money, levels of what you have, what you don't have. They created that. The Illuminati. The Rothschild created that strategically, because if we all came together, this place would be a completely different place. And it really would. Instead, we're being policed. We're being policed. You know, we live in a world where people clearly don't know how to behave in society, that we would need like police and military. And again, that goes back to they're set up all around the world. And there's things going on behind the scenes that most of us aren't aware of, and many of us are feeling it. That there is something shady going on, again, with Putin sitting in the Caribbean with 3 battleships. 3. Not 1, not 2, not 4, but 3. Not 10, but 3. Be mindful of your thoughts. So you're talking radar on that thing. You're talking energy that we haven't been privy to, that can affect us. So I just wanted to come on and talk about that, because I was getting shown those 3 cards with the magnetosphere, the man with the helmet on, and then the sound of God, the sound of the universe. That's powerful. To me, that's a big message. That's a huge message. Worldly, individually, into our souls. And I feel like many of you may hear the voice of God. I do. I really know that. You're going to literally, legit hear the voice of God. And you will. If you haven't been already, you will. So I think that's all I'm going to get on with. Hi, Jody. That's like... And I know, like, some of you liked when I use my decks, and I was going to do that, but I'm making coffee. But I was showing those specific cards. Let me see. Hold on. And I know that that's to protect our crown. Protect the crown. Protect the crown. Battle of the crown. It's a battle of the crown, which is also the ring of fire. Can't chew down and walk at the same time. Alright, let's see. And I feel like, Jody, you know exactly what I'm talking about with those 3 cards. Let's see if I can find them. I know I can, actually. The horse is sticking out. Maybe it's not this deck. Maybe it's this deck. It's my coffee brewing. Alright. Plants, animals, air, east. This deck. Alright, the dripping of the sun into our world. How many pictures have been out there about that for those who are in that vibration of looking? And someone put in, why do you think this why do you think this petroglyph's in a cave? Like, no way. I don't know, why would they be in a cave? Because the caves, many of us know the answer. The caves, there's certain caves, because certain caves are crystal, and crystals protect us from certain frequencies. Dark matter came out. See, they're opening things. So these are just going to validate, honestly, everything I just went over, that I'm being shown. The voice, there's another card that has, I have 2 other decks that have that too. Storms, let me do this way. My toothbrush, don't mind that. Storms, music from the sound, which is the magnetosphere as well. The water, this is all coming out the way it is. Holy crap. The oceans, the moon. This is the way this is coming out. In the north, okay, brush fires, electricity, the equator, right? The hearth of the home affected. The west, puzzle piece, a changing of the guard. Something's going to be added through this time with this opening. Don't you think God ain't gonna come in? God is totally here. God is coming in. God is here. Nothing is happening without the divine knowing. Nothing. Here on earth, in the mountains, notice the light. It could be something like coming through, like those energy orbs. See, the energy orbs. It could be, it's something energetically coming through, like a Powerball, I keep saying. Maybe someone's going to win Powerball, speeding up the wind. Okay, so this is going to, this is going to create, look at 4224, mirroring. This is what's going to create the mirror. Okay. This is what's going to create the mirroring, okay? Right here. The wind of bending, pliable, bending of the plasma, okay? The magnetism, the magnetosphere, because it's time. Marine life, things are going to rise up we didn't know existed from the marine life. That's changing out. That's changing out. Look, I'm seeing it this way. That's changing out in the biome, okay? With the marine life. The different, the tree of life. The upside down, the flip 44. Whatever's gonna go, it'll be fast. The inner core. Okay, I don't know if the core is still stopped. We have the dove. It frees something. I'm telling you. I know, like, being a human here, it's like, oh my God. And it is serious. I'm not saying this is light. But the magnetosphere dropping, like, we got, I don't know. I look at it as, like, that's an opening of a way. That's a freedom. That's, something can come in. Something can go out. The door's open. Basically. The door is open with the magnetosphere. And I've always felt like that's a prison. I feel it's supposed to come down. I do. I get shown like Orion's shield was like a trap, and it had to be broken. It has to be broken down. And I honestly don't care how that sounds to anybody. If you think that's out there, I don't know. It's all scientifically, honest to God, backed up with what I'm saying. That's the kicker of it all. Like, this isn't something I'm just creating and making up and thinking, and it ends up scientifically in the 3D manifesting and showing everything I'm talking about. Protect your crown. Been getting that for a long time too, about protecting the crown. And I feel like that's multi-thing. It's not just our crown, which is really up there, by the way, and as far as priority to the Most High God, our crown. The crown, the Ring of Fire is a crown. It's a battle of that crown. Whatever that crown is, you know, again, we haven't been privy to so much information, and it's like puzzle pieces putting this together, but it comes together. That's the thing. It comes together. All this stuff, it makes a big picture of all these messages that have been coming through me anyway, and in others that, you know, I know there's a lot of, like, people who read scripture that would think I'm into the craft and all that. Good thing that I'm not their opinion of me. It's not. For me, it's not. And if you don't know someone, you have no right to say that. And you don't. because you really don't know. I know there's one thing about sending out like a warning, like be careful of these certain, little tips on be careful of dark stuff versus light seers, because there's a difference. Um, I used to think, oh, you're psychic, so you must be of light. Not always. I learned that real fast, that not everyone who's psychic and not everyone who's a medium is of light. Okay, so I get why there's warnings about that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not one of them. And you can take that to the heavenly banks. The messages it's not even trying to read, it's stuff that comes through my soul that I share and how I see it. And that's God. That's connected to God. Divine creator of the most high vibrational love, light, because you come from love. You come from love. Not a controlling God, not a God that it's going to make you feel bad if you screwed up on, whatever date, whatever time. Like, I don't really think creators up there like, wow, you know what? In February, March, and April, you did this. And you know what? Because you did that, you got to come back around and do this all over again. No, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it because I felt God when I went to heaven. And we come from so much love. It's not felt enough here in this realm, unfortunately. And you're not forgotten. And you're not. I don't know how that works for people or souls that have done heinous things. I don't know how that works. I'm not going to ever say how that works because I don't know. I don't do heinous things. So I think ultimately there's no coincidence when a soul leaves this earthly plane. Every soul that I've personally encountered with helping in hospice has always had a tear. Sometimes they thought it's while they're sleeping. But they always get their things in order. They always get their affairs in order. That's a cleansing. That's a reckoning. That's getting right with. That's getting right with your soul. I feel that automatically happens unless you're just, pure evil. Then I think that's a whole other situation. So, a reckoning. I'm trying to think of anything else I want. That was a lot to cover from those 3 cards I was shown. A lot has been coming through. It's a changing of the guard. You come from love, not something that would want to control you. And again, you believe what you want. You trust your own soul always, and you don't have to listen to a stinking thing I'm saying. I don't take it personally. I expect everybody to trust their own soul and not follow and listen. There's people like me out here that are a messenger to get to, so that we have that connection of because that's a connection in the world that keeps us separate. I am not here to misguide or mislead anybody ever. I'm just like you in this fishbowl trying to figure it out, and I just tune in, and it's just the way I see, and it's the way I've always seen. I've always seen through. When you're a kid, and you see the truth, and you can feel when something's really wrong, and you know something's really wrong, and no one's hearing you. That's a scary place to be, because see, a kid is in its honest, authentic vibration from heaven. Go to any hospital that has a maternity ward and smell it. It's heaven. You can smell heaven when babies are born. It is a gift from God. And then life happens, and then hopefully eventually, like no God is. I don't think Creator is expecting us to do this perfectly, because that would be the Luciferian shit in us. But ultimately, always go over to doing the right thing through the light. When that is suppressed in a child, that's where many things go awry. Acting out, if still not listened to, acting out, no one's hearing me, what do I do with the pain? You know, and eventually that can turn into addictions when they get older. What do I do with the pain? If you're not guiding, you know, helping people, especially kids, that's why, like, listen to your kids. I get it. Like, a lot of us get in that ego. Well, I'm the adult. You know, I grew up in that generation. Well, I'm the adult. And sometimes, yeah, as a mom, you got to be like, I'm the adult. But not, like, to the point you're never listening to your kids. Like, ever. You know, sometimes, you know, people have to make their own choices, too. But ultimately, when the little kid says something, they haven't been tainted by this world yet. It's the other programs that we put upon them as they get older that shifts everything, you know. And sometimes you get lucky and be able to get another shot at it, and sometimes you don't. um, and that's what it is. But kids are pure, and that's why there's a lot of things out there that want to hurt kids. It's sick, it's wrong, it's disgusting. And when a child isn't heard, that's where the trauma begins, unfortunately. And we're healing that through these generations. You know, I see so many parents that, like, really listen. They listen to their kids, and they go through, like, their kids really, not that their kids are here to guide them, but, like, they really get, like, it's a symbiotic thing, not a overpowering thing. And that is that old God thinking, like, and it just is. You know, that's Enlil wanting to control things, and that's breaking down too. You know, thank God I had a mother that, I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes she didn't hear me, but more, she heard me more than she didn't. And that helped me. That helped me instead of being suppressed and not heard. And because that's pretty devastating. Like, if I told my mom something and I didn't have a good feeling about it, like, she heard me. Sometimes she fought me because she's her own person too. And I get that now as an adult, but, like, kids are kids, man. Kids are kids. It's just matter of fact. And if they don't feel like they're being heard, that oozes out all other aspects of their life. So right now, listen to the youngins. The youngins have not tainted by this world thus far. These babies that are being born through right now are really, like, I don't know, I keep just seeing the divine creator sending in all his army through us. Somehow, all it's creator's army. Because we live in an army of darkness around us, unfortunately, we do. And that, you know what, the supernatural doesn't scare me. Putin sitting in the Caribbean, that shit scares me. Because I've seen images in my mind's eye of China and Russia shaking hands. And then, lo and behold, a picture comes up online with just that. And that was like, yo, this could be like an EMF wipeout. You know what I mean? However that is called. They can just hit a button and... because it's going to be an energy battle. And we don't have a president. And I don't care what anyone... We do not have a president. We don't. America has fallen, and it has. It really has. If you think that Trump should be a president of the United States, and this isn't about political shit, because I don't care about politics. I think it's all corrupt and bullshit. But the dude's a felon, no matter how you slice it. And society is somehow okay with thinking that would be still okay to have a felon as a president. I mean, why not? We already have someone that belongs in a nursing home as our president. Which they're just puppets. They're just puppets. They are dark beings. Very dark beings. And right now, it's a changing of the guard, and America is very vulnerable right now. I just see it more through a supernatural way versus a 3D political bout. I see it supernaturally. And I don't know. So it's the only way I really know how to see. Because the 3D, and this goes back to being a kid. Because a kid can really see. And then you look around at this world and it's like, doesn't fit the same vibration as what you come in as. Doesn't. So we are in a changing of the guard. Protect your crown. There's a battle of the crown. The military are positioned all around us. They have been putting up they could do so much without us even knowing, for real. They could have set us all up in big ass containment areas and we wouldn't even know it unless you come across that. That's the level I believe this is at. Absolutely. When I saw a wall in the forest of freaking Russia, that was telling, and I've been seeing that around us. I don't know if I've been seeing that. It blends in with the background. There's some kind of barrier going up that blends in with the background of our world, and it's there. It really is there. That's why they came out with camouflage. That's exactly why they came out with camouflage. They don't just use it for soldiers' uniforms. They know how to camouflage at a whole other level that would blow most people's minds. You think you're looking at a mountain, but you're really not. There's something else going on behind it. Hence the magician. Let me see what y'all say. My live yesterday, what? It's harder to guide children when, yes, it is. Very well stated. Yes, Jody, absolutely. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. I don't know what I said, what live I did yesterday. What live did I do yesterday? I'll have to look. About the paranormal? Was that yesterday? No. That was the night before. What did I do for a... I don't know. I don't remember. And a lot of times I don't remember because it really just comes from my soul and I let it go. And sometimes most times I go back and look at my stuff and I'm like, wow. And I know that is light coming through. And I think it's really beautiful. What live did I do yesterday? Yeah, yes, yes, I agree with you on that. And to the 10, that number 10, into 10 camps. Like, most people don't even realize it. It's like, oh, well, the stores are just breaking, they're closing. Like, all these stores are closing for a reason because there's a lot going on in them and underneath them that they know what's up. They know what's up. They know what's up. And they know what's up. And they try to keep the lie up as long as they can. But it's coming to a point that they're just not going to be able to. And I do believe in God's warriors and angels, and I do believe and know that we would not be here alone. There's something big going to take place. I am trying to find the live. Oh, that's right, yesterday morning, okay. And they divided up into 10 camps in about 10 days. That is interesting. Yeah, that one, Jody, that honestly put everything together for me. Like, all along, what's been coming out, right? That guy just got a memo. My memo has come through in a different way. Like, it's like a little bits and pieces, and then and that's the memo. Well, it's like, oh, well, you got a memo. I got a memo from God, but I had to put the pieces together. And that's all good. And then just validation with a memo that all heads of worlds have. Because all heads of worlds, every single, you notice how they call it worlds, not states, not countries, heads of worlds, they know what's up. And they have done, well, back to the caves, certain crystals, certain, so I think Mount Cheyenne, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a geologist or anything like that, but I think Mount Cheyenne might be part of, Dragon Glass. Pretty sure of it, because it's near Yosemite, if I'm not mistaken. That would be out of Dragon Glass, obsidian, maybe tourmaline. Like, I'd be interested to know what some of these caves crystals are made, because they know what to use. They've been guided what to use, because you have other interstellar or interheavenly, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, beings there, you know, the reptilians from Draco. And that goes along with kind of all the messages I've been getting about holding hostage, the iron belt around us. And to me, that would mean something broke through the iron belt for the magnetosphere to drop. I don't know. Again, that's just what I feel. I have no idea if that's a scientific thing and can happen, but I don't care. It's what I feel. It's a changing of the guard. It's an opening. It's an opening. Revelations 2:10. It sits, girl, I sit down with you. I sit down with you because it sits me down too. Oh my God, does it sit me down? It really sits me down. Like, wow, I got that message. I'm like, what? Like, how did I know that? How do you know? Like, I do that. I'm like, but I knew it. But I knew it because of just all those little. I trust God. I just trust and love God so much because this world's so fucked up that God is truly the divine mother, the universal life force is my true north compass through this place. And I truly get, and I'm not a Bible thumper by any means, I truly get we walk through the valley of the shadow of death where we fear no evil, for thy rod, thy staff, which is knowledge, the gift of knowledge, to connect into the Most High God, your soul, that for thy rod and thy staff bring me comfort. For, you know, God lights the way. Not religiously, like soul, hence the Hermit card. The divine lights the way, for you trust that. And that's everything, that's why all that I do. It's because of all this that's come out. You know, and I know I've gotten a lot of shit because I use my oracles, but people, you don't know me. Like, I'm not sitting here like doing dark, you know, ritual or using blood set. Like, that is so, I know that's demonic, and I'm here to call that out. You know, just because many other angels out there that you're very much, and I can tell who's God's warriors out there. I would never say you're sending the wrong message unless you weren't God at all. I have no right to say that either, but I notice a lot of them. It's one thing to call out the craft. First of all, understand the craft before you start calling it out. There's two different things. There's many different parts. There's hoodoo craft, which is dark. You have Vatican is the craft. That's dark. They use blood ritual. They sacrifice Christ every time you go into a church, right? And then you have people like me, star seeds, indigo children, light workers, because we really are here to help change it because we've gone through so much darkness and it hasn't been an easy road for a star seed, for real. A lot of star seeds get bullied, picked on, harassed, fall into addictions because they're an empath. And you know, if you're not taught how to handle this, because that's been taken out of this world, if you're not taught how to handle that stuff, then that's all the Luciferian shit. And it even says, you know, be careful. And that was that whole be careful how much matter you take in of this world, because you don't want to be, you don't want anything compromising. And I don't think anything really could. Maybe just disable it a little bit, but like nothing can ever compromise your connection with the Most High God unless one allows it. God never leaves us. Creator never leaves us. For we are made of God. Our soul is the divine. Our soul is the divine. So you know, you can't really be. I mean, I think that there's probably a level that someone could do that. I don't know why you'd want to do that. But they really go to the dark side. They sold their soul. But I also really truly believe even if you sold your soul, you can fight for it back and get it back. There are no absolutes. You know, for divine is always in charge. Like we're the divine's beautiful little light. We're the light. So back to these caves. I'd love to know what these, like, because in Tennessee, in Kentucky and all that, that's crystal. I mean, it's crystal quartz. It's a level of quartz. Um, that's there. That's why the magnetosphere. There has a, like, the magnet. You can, like, some nights you can literally, from what I heard from someone who lives there, there's some nights you can see it it almost touches the earth. I don't think it's supposed to actually touch the earth. I don't know. And weird things go on, like the dimensions get warped. That's why Archangel Michael's like, what's pliable, like what we're in is really truly pliable. We've just been programmed to think it's not. It's all the program we have been in that we're undoing now. And that is a great example of, like, because the way the magnetosphere is called to that quartz that's in Kentucky. It's all over the world. I think every mountain range, if you ask me. So I'd be interested to understand what exactly these mountains are, what kind of quartz they're made out of. What kind of beryl they're made out of. Tourmaline. That to me, okay, so tourmaline and what is the other one? Tourmaline to me reminds me of a broken rainbow bridge in its pieces of that. Because there's rainbows for a reason, right? There's rainbows. Who's to say a rainbow couldn't have calcified and got broken? We don't know that. We have no right to be like, oh, that could never happen. I believe it could. And I believe that the crystals are here to show us the proof of that. These are pieces. When I was reading them up on the dendrite, right, which is a neural pathway, and I'm reading on this, and I'm like, holy shit, this is the same thing as quartz. The dendritic quartz, bigger scale of it that we can actually see, which would be kind of like lightning. If you look at any kind of anatomy and physiology video of neurons firing off, it's lightning. So this lightning that we're having in these storms is some kind of bigger connection that we can't see because of the way we're positioned in this place. And well, we have, thank God for cameras. I think it's the same thing. I really do. I think it's something really much larger coming together that we truly can't see because we're on the ground of it, for lack of a better way of saying that. But we're on the flat, like drones. Now drones show us so much more that we can't physically see because we're on the same plane of it. And now with a plane, you can go above the plane and see the plane, which opens up this place even more to understand what's going on. Be written right now. Books are open, pages are read. The pages are read. Books have been opened, pages have been read from for quite some time, and now this is like the results of it. So this is going to be really interesting, but I feel that it's an opening of a way. I don't fear it. I don't fear it at all. What scares me are people and the way people behave when all this shit's going to go down, and people who have the capacity to have weapons. That scares me. And big ships with big cannons on them. That's the stuff that scares me. We still haven't learned. But this is the end of that. For the 1,000-year reign is over. And it is. So hang on. No fear. No fear. No fear, no fear, no fear. Know that you are love. Know that you are truly loved no matter what you're going through. No matter how shitty you may feel or what horrible thing you may go through, because it's a dark night of the soul when we go through this stuff. That you are love. You come from love, not judgment. You don't come from judgment. You come from love. This world wants you to think that you come from judgment. and that you're born with sin on your head. That's mind control. To have a whole society to believe that they were born with sin on their head. That's control. When you're born, what could you have done so wrong for you to have sin on your head? You're an innocent baby. So breaking down all that organized religion stuff. And the sin in Hebrews is procreate. And that goes back to Yeshua, who was a son, a literal son, which I do still think, I'm wondering if it is Ra, because it's the RNA that the Sumerians, see, here's the thing, I've come across a few different things about this in Hebrews and through the Sumerian stuff. Two things. Supposedly Enki inserted, he wasn't supposed to, and we were missing a component, because if you don't understand, the Sumerians made us, the Sumerians did make us, and we were missing some kind of component, and Enki gave that to us, and I think that was like forbidden, so I think that would be like considered the sin, which would be the RNA to procreate, okay? And then I've read also that the sun, that's why it has gashes and scars in it. That is like a red blood cell, if you will, or I don't know. But they extracted RNA from it, and that's also proven. And that's what sin means. It means procreate. We weren't supposed to do that. We were not supposed to cross, so they say, we're not supposed to cross the fiery Moloch. Then why would we be able to? If that wasn't the case, so this just, I guess it all depends on how you look at it. I truly look at it through love, the best, because this world just wants you to beat the shit out of you personally, and it just does. It wants you to think that you're born to sin, that you have to repent, that you're such a bad person that you have to repent. Know that you are one with always, maybe you do need to repent. I don't know, I'm not going to tell you have to. I just, like, realistically, what are you doing so wrong that, do you know what I mean, that you sinned, unless you are out there doing, like, really crappy things, then okay, then yeah, you might want to get right with God. But ultimately, your soul at the end of this journey gets right with God. It does. It knows what to do. Doesn't mean go out and be an asshole and treat people like shit. Just honor your soul. Honor who you are. And if someone ever tries to make you feel less than for that, they're not worth your time, ever. That's part of division, to divide. If people can't accept you and love you for who you are, they're not your people. And that's, we're getting back to the brass tacks on that. That's getting a lot of those templates of being broken, of women, not saying men don't go through this too, but women being abused, battered, and or being talked down to by a man, or another person, or just the way you talk to each other. Doesn't have to be a man or woman. Just the way you speak to each other. That's all being broken down. Like, if you don't respect someone, have nothing to do with them, for real. You know how many people I've had to walk away from because of lack of respect, and just honor, and just regular, just like, you don't get who I am. Okay, I'm not going to keep putting myself in a situation where you don't get who I am. And then for some weird reason you think you can put me down because of who I authentically am. That's abuse. That's not okay. And those are the people you walk away from and heal from. Healing that is really, that's the glue to get us through. It really is. So this was a lot that came through. Me too. I pray that God is in control of our military and that they are his warriors. I do too, because that is, let me shut this light off. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Because this is, I feel like this is I keep getting this flash of, and I feel like it's some kind of past life thing. Or I don't know, but it echoes deep to try to get I feel like it tries to deter me from loving God, and it can't. Yeah, I got validation on that. Of where is your God now? I keep getting that, and it's like, I am God, for I am God, for I am divine creator. I'm not ever separate from. And there's something that has been with me through lifetimes that does that to me. And it attacks me in my dream state, my real world, to test, I don't know if, I guess that's the only way how to put it, I don't know, for me to like, I would never give up on God, ever. No matter what is going on, I believe God is a part of all of it, and eventually all will be the way it's supposed to be, and trust in the process. But there's a darker energy here, and I know there's a few people that feel this dark. It's heavy. It's a dark energy that is on Earth right now. And it is pulling, or trying to pull, at the light just by being present. It's like, if you put something huge in the sky and you can't see the stars anymore, like that with us here, to try to dim our shine, to try to dim our connection with the divine. Because I get echoes of that. Not all the time, but like once in a blue, I do. Or I'll have like a dream that I've been, that's why I record and document these experiences I'm having in my dream state, with something trying to constantly think that they can even interfere with my connection with God. It's weird. So I don't know who it is or what it is, but it tries really hard. And I keep hearing that, and I feel like that's something from a past life too, that many of us went through together. And it was a horrible thing. And whatever it was kept saying, so where is your God now? Which sounds very Luciferian. So, I don't know. Trust. Don't ever let anything dim your shine. Honor your soul. Don't let anything ever interfere with your connection with the Most High God. Ever. Even if you don't understand what is going on in it, even when it hurts, know the divine is there with you, for you are one with the divine. That is never separated, only if you allow it. Peace.